Hey, good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back. Welcome back to our online Pali reading class, day 54. Let's get started by paying respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Right, so we are going to look at another stanza in the Dhammapada. Today is going to be stanza number 25, which is also about diligence in a different context. See, take a look. Stanza number 25. Uttane napp madena sanyamena damena cha Deepang kairatha medhavi yang ogho nabhikirati. Uttane nappamadena. There are two words actually which are combined together. You can see the apostrophe mark, which means there are two words. Uttane nappamadena sanyamena damena cha Deepang kairatha medhavi yang ogho nabhikirati. There also is another place for two words. Na abhikirati, but you can see na abhikirati. All right, so we were going to be asking groups to read. I'll be asking group 1 to read. Anybody from group 1?
Me, Bhante.
Yes, Anne, please go ahead.
Uttanena tamadena sanyamena damena cha Deepang kariyarata medavi yang oga na bikirati.
Abhikirati. Nabhikirati.
Nabikirati.
Nabhikirati.
Yang oga na bikirati.
Yang ogho.
Ogo.
Yang ogho
Okay.
nabhikirati.
Yang ogo na bikirati.
Yeah, okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 2. Yes, group 2. Yes, Kim, please go ahead.
Uttanena pamadena sanyamena damena cha Deepang kairatha medavi yang ogo na bikirati.
Yes, great.
Thank you.
And group 3. Someone from group 3. There are two who would like to read, Chuping or Jenny.
Then Sister Chuping read.
Okay. Yes, Chuping, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Sister. Thank you, Bhante. Uttanena pamadena samyamena damena cha Deepam karirata medavi yam ogo na bikirati.
Yang ogho.
Yam ogo na bikirati.
Nabhikirati.
Sorry?
Nabhikirati.
Yam ogo na bikirati.
Okay.
Thank you, Bhante.
Great. And group 4. Yes, Oi, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Uthanena pamadena samyamena damena cha dipang kairata medavi yam ogo nabi kirati.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 5. Yes, Melinda, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Uthanena pamadena samyamena damena cha dipan kairata medavi yam ogo na bikirati.
You have to articulate together. Nabikirati.
Okay. Yam ogo na bikirati.
Yang
Thank
ogo nabikirati.
Yam ogo na bikirati.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Group 6. Someone from group 6. Group 6. Yes, Margaret, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Uttanena pamadena samyamena dhammena cha dipam kairata medavi yam ogo na bikirati.
Okay, great. And group 7. Yes, Alia, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Pamadena samyanimena damena cha dipankariyatha medavi yang ogo nabikirati. Dipankariyatha medavi.
Are you saying Kariyat or Kairat?
Kairata medavi.
Kairat. Kairat
medavi yang ogo nabikirati.
Okay, great. Group 8. Yes, Doris, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Uttanena pamadena samyanmena damena cha dipam kairata medavi yam ogo na bikirati.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Now I'm giving the opportunity to the floor. We'll start with Jenny, and then Rashmi, and then the rest. Yes, Jenny, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Bhante, before I start, can I ask a question? The first line, do we pronounce the NAP together or just the NA? Because there's two P there, so do we pronounce Uttanena pamadena or Uttanena pamadena?
The first pronunciation is okay.
Oh, that means NAP, is it?
Yes, because these are two Pali words which have been combined together. So we have to understand what is hiding here is appamadena. But we are not saying that because it is combined. Uttane nappamade.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Bhante. Uttanena pamadena samyamena damena cha dipang kairata medavi yam ogo nabikirati.
Okay, great.
Thank
And
you.
Rashmi?
Thank you. Uttanena pamadena samyamena damena cha dipam kairata medhavi yam ogo nabikirati.
Right. Great. And we have CHR.
Thank you, Bhante. Uttanena pamadena samyam.
No, not that way. Don't try to separate. If you separate, what you're going to say is pamadena. It's wrong.
Oh.
There is appamadena. A is hidden inside.
So,
That's why we have to say Uttane Nappamadini in one setting.
oh, okay, I
Say
try.
in one setting. Yes.
Okay. Uttanena pamaneda.
Okay,
Then
much better.
samyamena damena cha. Dipankayirata medavi. Yam ogo nabikirati.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank
And
you.
we have May Oil.
Tiêu Bante.
Yes.
Uttanena Padmadena Samyamena
No,
Damena
you need to pronounce it in one setting. Don't try to break it.
Uttanena Padmadena Samyamena Damena Cha Dipam Kairata
I think suddenly we lost your we lost your audio. Yeah, Deepan Kairat. Yeah, Deepan Kairat. Would you like to go again for the last two lines? We didn't hear that part from you.
Sorry, my line is not.
Yeah, you were breaking up, so you can go for the last two lines again.
Dipam Kairata Medavi Yam Ogo Nabikirati.
Oh, great.
Okay,
And
thank
we
you,
have
Bante.
Serene. Yes, Serene.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Uttanena, sorry again, one more time. Uttanena napmadena.
No, Uttani Napp. Uttani Nappamadi.
Uttanena ma. Okay, no more.
Okay, let me help you. Let me help you this way. When you are pronouncing this part, Uttani, maybe you can make a pause here. Nappamadi. Uttani Nappamadi.
Right. Uttane napmadena.
Nappamadi. Napp. There are double consonants, two consonants. Nappamadi.
Uttane napmadena.
Nappamadi.
Uttane nappamadena.
Yes, see. It's getting better.
Samyamena damena che. Dipam Kairata Medavi. Yam Ogo Nabi Kirati.
Okay, great. Yes.
Kirati.
Yeah. Practice makes better. Even here. Yes, 9 check, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Uttana Nappama.
Uttane Nappamade. It's very easy.
Uttane Nappamadena. Samyamena Damena Cha. Dipankairata Medavi. Yang Okon Nabi Kirati.
Yang Ogo.
Yang Ogo Nabi Kirati.
Nabi Kirati. Okay, great.
Thank you.
And we have Indra. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante. Uttane Nappamadena Sangyamena Damena Cha Deepam Kairata Medhavi Yang Ogo Nabi Kirati.
Okay, great. And we have Uchu Wong. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Uttanena Pamadena Samyamena Dhammanecha.
Dhammanecha.
Oh, Dhammanecha.
No, Dhammanecha. Two words.
Sorry.
Yes.
Samyamena Dhammanecha.
No, not Dhammanecha. Samyamena Dhammanecha.
Oh, Dhammanecha. Samyamena Samyamena Dhammanecha. Is it? How come I
Well, you will get better, yeah. It's okay. Yes. Dhammanecha. Yes.
Dhammanecha.
Yeah.
Dipam Kairata Medavi
Yam ogo yam ogo na bikirati.
Nabikirati. Okay, great.
Nabikirati. Thank
Nabikirati.
you.
When there is an apostrophe, you have to understand that there is another letter that is hidden here. Just for the easy pronunciation, some of the Pali words have been contracted or combined. But when we want to understand the meaning, we are going to decombine those Pali words that have been contracted already. But now, when you are pronouncing, you're going to pronounce in a combined way. We call it Chandima. Okay, so we have the male.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Uttanena pamadena. Uttanena pamadena. Samyanena damena cha. Dipam kariyata medavi. Yam ogo nabikirati.
Can you read the third line again? Dipam?
Dipam karirata medavi.
Dipam Kai, there's a Y here. Kaira.
Dipam karirata medavi.
Medhavi.
Medavi.
Medhavi yang ogo.
Kairata medavi. Yam ogo nabikirati.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And we have Sumana. Shari.
Thank you, Bhante. Uttanena pamadena samyamena.
Make it in one setting. Read it in one setting. Uttanena pamadena. Don't try to break it halfway.
Uttanena pamadena.
Uttanena. No, uttanena. Na pamadena. Uttanena.
Uttanena pamadena. Thank you. Samyamena damena cha. Dipam kayirata medhavi. Yang ogo na bikirati.
Great. And we have Pauline. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante. Uttanena pamadena.
Uttanena pamadena.
Uttanena. Uttanena pamadena. Samyamena damena cha. Dipam kariyata medavi. Yang ogo nabikirati.
Dipam.
Dipam kairata medavi.
Medavi. Okay, great. Yes, great. And we have Champakla.
Thank you, Bhante. Uttanena pamadena. Samyamena damena cha. Dipam kayirata medavi. Yam ogo nabikirati.
Okay, great.
Thank
and
you.
We have Paripurna.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening. Yes.
Uttanena pamadena. Samyamena damena cha. Dipam kayirata medavi. Yam ogo na bikirati.
Nabikirati. Yeah, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Chan. Yes.
Yes, Bhante, thank you. Uttanena pamadena. Samyamena damena cha. Dipam kayirata medavi. Yang ogo na bikirati.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else who would like to read? Yes, Mia, please go ahead.
Bhante, may I try? I am not very good at reading this, quite difficult. Uttanena pamadena. Samamena damena cha.
Sangyamena.
Sorry?
Sangyamena damena cha.
Oh, samyamena damena cha. Dipam kare rata medavi. Yahi ogo yam. Oh, Bhante, this is difficult.
It's a simple Nabikirati. Yes.
Nabi Kerati.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Bhante.
Right. Anybody else? Anyone else who would like to read? Because we are doing only this stanza today with the story. Well, it looks like there are no others, so we are going into the stanza now. Once again, Uttani nappamadena sanyamena damena cha deepa kairatha medhavi yang ogho na bhikirati. Okay, so this stanza is about someone who has bunch of Dhamma qualities in his or her life. Thereby, that person is creating what you call metaphoric island. You know, metaphor is a lingo working in literature. Creating an island. Now, you know, like there are islands, natural islands in the world, and perhaps sometime there could be some superficial islands depending on the technology. But here, island means a place where someone can safely stay without the akusala floods. Normally, some islands are overwhelmed, maybe thrown away by the floods. But this island, this is kind of a metaphoric use of an island. Okay, it's not a real island. How to say? When you are a wise person, you are creating your own island. So nobody can come to that island. No floods can come and flood away your stuff. So in order to create that kind of a what you call wise place, habitat, you need to have certain Dhamma qualities. The first quality that you need, coupled with, it's not only diligence, appamada. You can see uttanena, then here appamadena. 1, 2, then 3, sanyamena, dhamena. Okay, these are the 4 Dhamma qualities that you need to create this what you call island of wisdom. Then that you are trying to stay peaceful, stay wise, stay with safety from certain floods from akusala, main floods from akusalas. Let's understand these good qualities. First one is Uttanena. I think we discussed Uttana in our last stanza. Remember when we were discussing about the glory, now last Thursday, we were talking about how to become a glorious person, how to become a popular person. In that analysis, we discussed there are several qualities that you need to improve. The first one is Uttanavatu, then Satimatu, Suchikhammas, Nisammakarinu, Sanyatassaja, Dhammajivinu, Appamattassa, Yasobhivattari. So the person who has these Dhamma qualities will have a good reputation. Even that list of qualities starts from Uttanavatu. Same applies here. Here, Uttan is Pali word. Uttan. You can see that here. What does Uttana mean? Uttana. Now, Uttana means, we understand Uttana from a background where we practice some courtesy. Let's say in our Asian culture, when the teachers are coming, when the respectable people are coming, we would like to rise from our seats. Aren't we? We are doing that as a respect for the teacher, as a respect for the school teacher, right? This is not saying that we see in other countries, but anyways, other cultures. But in Asian cultures, we understand, we normally, as soon as we see the teachers or maybe elderly people, even monastics, even some other respectable people, sometimes even in legal context, right? You might be somebody, if you are in a court, you must rise when the judge is coming. You must respect the court, in the court, right? You can't use your phone, right? You have to understand, you have to respect, right? Using phone is prohibited in the court, right? As you understand. Sometimes when you do that, it might be taken as a disrespectful activity for that person, maybe for that whole scenario. So put away the phone, put away other activities, rise. That means you are respecting. So here, Utthana means that you are doing something immediately. Our energy should also be something like that. Sometimes when we are responding to, I think most of the time, oftentimes, when we are responding to the, what you call, the emotions, or I would say, kusalas, we don't have a lot of time to respond, isn't it? We have a very, very short time, maybe a very short time. Either you can be a good person or a bad person in that moment. Depends on how we going to respond to that event. So that's why Utthana is very important in terms of responding to the akusala kusala events. Say for instance, you are getting jealous about somebody, right? It's a very random feeling. You suddenly feel very lonely, and you get to think about your friend who's in a vacation. Think about, I'm not in my vacation, right? Why me? Why she or he, right? So how to respond to this sudden, immediate, thought that came to you all of a sudden? It's like you're checking on Facebook. Facebook is a place where you see people's good side. Going here, going there, doing these things, that, right? People can be easily affected by certain mental activities, right? So you don't have a lot of time. You have a very short time to respond. If you don't respond properly, that means you are going to be probably struggle. That's why Utthana is very important. Utthana means that energy has to create very fast, in a very instant of time, right? Otherwise, although you know Dhamma, you are not able to put that into practice. Have you ever passed moments that you think that you could have done better? Oh, you should have done this. Maybe at the end of the day, you might be thinking, today I could have done some good things, but I did not do it. I was a little bit, self-centered, selfish. Maybe there were other things that prevented me in doing that. At the end of the day, before sleep, this comes. I could have done better. I could have been a better person than who I was at that. What was the reason? Because you were not able to energize yourself very fast. We need to energize us sometimes. Sometimes we have time. Most of the time, we need to respond to that particular event very fast and think about it. If it was a thought of jealousy, then we have to get it over. We can't just let it go, let it grow within us. If it is a moment of happiness, maybe moment of metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, what are we supposed to do? Let's say after this class, maybe sometimes during the day, you are becoming very compassionate about someone or maybe an event, right? And then this is a very short moment, but you are not picking up that good thought any further. Then you are also going to hear, all right, I think I ran into compassion fatigue before. People took advantage from me. I think I'm not going to do this. Secondary thought came in and took over your first thought because you were not able to energize that first kusala thought. Right? And then the secondary thought, which was a part of your sanya, which happened to you, somebody took you for granted, it took it over, first one. That's why when we are going to deal with people, when we are going to spend our day, we must be very careful whether we are able to energize us in the proper way at the right time to respond to people, events, and situations. Uttanavatu means that kind of energy. You can boast about your energy. I know Dhamma, I know what to do, I know Tina Midda, but when the situation comes to you, you are not able to put it into practice. Why? You did not properly get ready for that particular event. Sometimes we can talk Dhamma over and over, day and night. But when the situation hits us, are we sure we can practice it? In order for doing that, you need this uttan, which means the right energy and then being able to energize that right energy. Actually, what is right energy? Tell me. We have been discussing that, I don't think here, maybe in other classes. Right energy, we call it, we have a Pali word for that. We have Pali words. Viriya is one common word. Viriya means energy. And then we have Samma Vaya. Right? Samma Vaya, right effort. Now, Viriya can be wholesome or unwholesome, isn't it? Viriya is not a morally positive one. It's a morally neutral one. It can be good or it can be bad. Now think about a cat who was trying to catch a mouse for a couple of hours. What is that? What is cat having at that point? Is cat having some energy to stay focused on the place where the rat is going here and there? Yeah, he has energy. Virya. But it's not good virya. Think about it. It's not good virya. But cat has an excuse. Cat doesn't know. Catching a mouse is a bad karma. Right? He doesn't know about it. Cat has an excuse. What about a crane who was very focusing on a fish in the water for many hours? A crane. What is crane having for a couple hours? Does not even waver, shake, just fully focused, fully occupied. It is the same thing. Virya. It's a bad virya. Also, a bear who is going to a shallow water place where the fish is going to jump onto the other side. The bear knows that fish cannot pass that area very well. It's a shallow water. I can catch the fish very fast, like a salmon, like in Alaska. So then he's waiting until the fish is coming to the shallow water to catch. That waiting has virya. We call it as, we characterize it as virya, unwholesome virya. So virya is morally neutral thing, but when you take good virya, we call it samma vaya. We need that samma vaya. So uttanavatu means you need to have this samma vaya, right effort. Now tell me what is samma vaya given out by the Buddha in many, many suttas, starting from the Satchavimanga Sutta. In many suttas, Buddha has talked about samma vaya. This is what samaditi, samma sankappa, samma vacha, samma kammanta, samma ajiva, samma vaya. What is samma vaya? Right effort. Samma vayama means that you are going to do 4 things in terms of right effort, wholesome effort. First one and second one, they are for the akusalas. Third one and fourth one, they are for the kusalas. Let's look at the akusala side. Trying to create what do you call it? Energy to prevent any akusalas that are not within you. Now, say for instance, you don't have some of the very normal akusalas. Now, although you can be an unenlightened person, your anger level might be lower than to somebody, lesser than to somebody. Maybe your jealousy is not that, compared to somebody. Although you are an unenlightened person, your other akusalas might not be very strong compared to somebody else. So why you want to create new akusala? So you are trying to prevent any akusala that you don't have in your life. So this is the first thing that you are going to do in the right effort. This is about akusala. Now, sadly, akusalas have taken roots within you for some reasons. Maybe the bad friends, papa mitta, no kalyana mitta, papa mitta. Maybe the people in your household. Maybe your bad upbringing. Maybe childhood abuse. Maybe your own problems, your own bad habits, right? Akusalas have now already come in, sadly, unfortunately. Now what you have to do? You need to remove them. So create energy, uttana, energy to remove the existing or active akusalas that you have. The previous one, inactive akusala, because they are not with you anymore. But here, they have been with you, active akusala. So you are going to remove the existing akusalas. So you are going to practice right effort for that. Once again, creating effort, uttana, to prevent any akusala that you don't have. Second, creating energy or uttana to remove the existing akusalas. I think we all have to work on these two every day, all the time, 24/7. And then third one is, fourth, they are about kusala. Creating energy, I would say, uttana, to create new kusalas. Sometimes you get to meet people who are better than you in terms of their attitude. When they think about something, they are much better, very broad-minded. You think about, what happened to me? You know, I'm such a very, I'm a frog in the well so far. Why I could not come out of this kind of a nice idea? Such a smart, brainy, very wise person. Because I'm too narrow-minded, my thinking. My attitude is very narrow, even about Buddhism, even about my family, even about politics, society, everything. Even about my Dhammapada, such a very narrow mind. Maybe I only learn certain some area of Dhamma. So you are going to learn from someone. Why don't I create new kusalas like my friend, like the people who I meet in my life? Right? Maybe you are going to read new books, listen to new Dhamma talks, right? Maybe you are going to new retreats. Maybe you are not doing anything. Suddenly you come to a certain contemplation. It's good to take some contemplation aspects. You are thinking, I don't think my Dhamma practice has been flourishing, growing. I know Dhamma, but I don't feel that it's working with it. At least you understand there is a problem. Then you are going to create ancillary kusala activities that are really going to support your practice to the next level. So creating new kusalas. In order to do that, you need uttana energy. Then last one, now nobody's bad, right? Nobody's bad. There's a Sanskrit stanza. It says that you can't say that that there is someone who is not good for anything. Then the stanza says, the problem is not with the people. The problem is with somebody who try to understand what kind of thing, task that this particular person can do for the society. That means we need motivators, people who can inspire us. We are good people already, more or less. But our good does not flourish without the people who can really inspire us, motivate us in the right way. Right? So now we have to understand in the fourth Samma Vayama aspect is that we are going to develop, maintain, sustain, deepen our existing kusala activity. Let's say you are such a mudita person. You are a very easy person to be happy when other people get going in their life, right? You are having a lot of metta, you are having a lot of karuna, you are having a lot of upekka. But you think that you need to go to the next level of those kusala activities. So you are going to working on these things, attitudes, Dhamma activities, all of that, right? So this is called Samma Vaya. If I put it this way, create energy to prevent upset. Create energy to remove existing akusals. Create energy to create kusala. Create energy to maintain, sustain, deepen existing or active kusala. I normally use an example for this, a vegetable garden. You are someone who would like to, run a vegetable garden if you have a place to do that. How do we take the Samma Vayama attitudes into a vegetable garden? Let's say when you have a vegetable garden, you are going to make sure that there is no room for any weeds to take root. And you are doing everything for the garden not to take any, weeds going to take root in your garden. But sadly, there was a delay in your nursing of the garden. Somehow weeds have come in now. You have to remove them. Perhaps you have to buy some fertilizer, maybe other things. So I'm going to use that. So that is the second one. Third one, you have a garden. You have fruits and you have some flowers and vegetables. But the problem is you are not happy enough about it. So what you're going to do? You are going to take a second opinion from somebody. We go to a nursery, ask from people, I have a garden like this. How can I how can I improve my garden? So he or she might give you some advice, expertise advice. So that means create new kusalas. Just because you are a good person, don't be happy. You need to become a better person all the time. Because when you are only happy about you being a good person, you can brag yourself. I do meditation, I listen to Dhamma talks, I chant. So see, I'm such a good person. You can understand. But when you think that I have to work on my practice, you won't make that statement. Yeah, I think I'm good, but I have to work on my Dhamma practice all the time with some satisfaction, being content about it. Then, let's say now you have fruits, vegetables in your garden, but you are not going to be happy enough about it. Not only by taking expertise advice. You know that it's a journey. Gardening is a journey. If you are not nursing, if you are not watering, if you are not making sure the gardening is exposed to enough sunlight, maybe other things, then this will be a problem in a day or two. So you are going to maintain your garden all the time. Like the Dhamma practice, you have to maintain it. If you don't maintain your Dhamma practice, then what will happen is that you will become an iron which has a lot of rust on it. When you have rust on the iron, it has been oxidized, then you can't use this. The Buddha said in one Dhammapada stanza, I think it is in somewhere in the Dhammapada, when you are not practicing Dhamma, the knowledge that you have will be rusted, oxidized. When your Dhamma knowledge is rusty, then you can't do anything with that Dhamma. Anyway, so we are talking a little bit more about Utthana. Utthana means that you have right effort. You know how to energize yourself at the right time. Then, second is our topic in the chapter, Appamada. I think you know that, diligence. Appamada means not being late. Not being late means not being late in our Dhamma practice. We know that Dhamma practice has to be worked out. You have to work on the Dhamma practice. But don't take it as a very, don't take it as a very stressful thing. For some people, practicing Dhamma is a very stressful activity. I accept that. I understand that. Now, when you look at internet, looking at the fake Buddha quotes, right? A lot of misinformation on internet. Somebody one day told me, Bhante, learning Buddhism is so difficult now. I said, why? How to learn true Buddhism? So many fake quotes there. Who is going to say this is really a Buddha quote or somebody else quote? So we have to understand that part too. That's why learning Buddhism can be a very struggling journey to some people if they don't find the right books, right texts, a good teacher, because you are not going to be as expert as a good teacher. So better to follow a good person, maybe a lay good teacher, monk or whoever, even a bhikkhuni. Then you are getting the right information. Now the problem is if you are, whether you go anywhere, XYZ people, if you don't get the right information, then what is happening to your time and life? You might be saying, I've been doing this for many years, but you haven't been getting the right information. Till you get the right information, your Dhamma practice might not be working. So appamada simply means not being late in the Dhamma practice. You have been able to journey within your Dhamma journey without being late with the right gears that you are necessary to use in the practice. I introduce appamada as the footprint of an elephant, according to what the Buddha said. He said, as all the footprints of other animals can be fitted onto the elephant's footprint, the appamada is the root kusala, where all the other good qualities can only arise only when you have appamada. If you don't have appamada, other qualities cannot arise very well. You might do dana, but if you don't have appamada, you cannot be consistent in the dana practice. You might meditate, but if you don't have appamada, you have no purpose, you will do it on and off. That means it's not going to be consistent. So diligence is the root kusala appamada. So that means now this person who is going to make an island of safety, wisdom, is going to have right effort, energy, and then diligence. Second one. Third one. Sanyamin. Sanyamin. That's interesting. I think we see this quality everywhere in Buddhist teaching. Sanyamin, restraint. Can we use a very simple layman word for that? What is a good translation for this? Sanyamin.
Abstinence, Bhante.
Calm senses, or watching, being able to watch, guard your senses, having guarded your senses, having watched your senses. Now, normally in our life, in our daily life, one of the very challenging tasks in the practice, whether you meditate or listen to Dhamma talk, maybe chant, do other activities, is that whether we have been able to consistently guard our senses in the right way. I know as lay people, you can't be a Sangha member. You don't have to be a Sangha member. You don't have to be a bhikkhuni. Don't ever think that way. If you want to become, then go and become a monk and nun. Otherwise, being a lay person, don't try to become a nun and monk. So in that way, I understand there are moments you want to be spoiled, isn't it? You want to be pampered by your loved ones, right? And there are moments. It might be coming from the food. It might be coming from going for a place. It might be coming from expecting care, love, affection from the people who you're around. Maybe expecting probably good words from your children who you have raised for many, many decades, years, by spending all your everything. Even good reputation. You may have certain things going in your mundane secular life. They are not to be blamed. So amidst all these things that you are supposed to enjoy, go through in your life, how to watch your sense, how to guard your sense. I will tell you a very short thing about it. Now, what is happening to our senses? Now we have senses. Objects to the senses are coming from outside, aren't they? So we have senses. Objects are coming from outside. Now, unfortunately, what has happened to us? What has been happening to us? What had happened to us in the past? What will normally become powerful in this sensory engagement? What is becoming more prominent and stronger? Are they senses, or are they the external objects that are coming to the senses? What is normally becoming stronger? Any thoughts? It's a very simple thing, very basic thing. In the sensory experience, now eyes and whatever our senses, we are taking objects that are coming from outside onto these senses. I'm asking, in this sensory experience, finally, eventually, what is going to be more powerful? Is it the sense, or are they senses, or are they the objects which are coming from outside to the senses?
Our senses.
They are going to be powerful at the end.
Yeah.
Is it
Normally, I'm asking, normally what is happening?
consciousness?
What is the commonplace? No, I'm not asking a certain sense only. I'm asking, now we have senses.
Yeah.
And those senses are always getting sense media from outside. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, thoughts. They are always engaging with the sense media. I'm asking, eventually, with this amalgamation, with this interaction between what is happening from what is coming from outside and what is happening to our internal senses because of this external coming, what is going to be more powerful? Is it our internal senses, or whether external objects are going to take over our internal senses?
Internal senses more powerful. We have to control.
We have to guard the sense.
Yes, we have to guard and control.
Otherwise,
No, I'm not asking what is to be done.
Consciousness.
I'm not asking what is to be done, what should be done. I'm asking what is normally happening.
The
What is
object.
normally? Don't think about Buddhism. Don't think about good practices. What is normally
the
happening?
great hatred and delusion will be overwhelm your.
Okay.
It's the like and dislike, Bhante. Like and dislike, the craving.
Okay, let me explain to you in a simple way.
Nowadays, this
What is
outside. The
what is
temptation from the
happening?
outside.
Okay, what is happening to our senses with these external objects is that external objects are going to take over our internal senses. This is what is normally happening. Huh? No, this is what is normally happening. Then you, with your mindfulness, whatever, all these gadgets, you might be doing a better job in that. But what is normally happening is that these external objects are taking. I think still this is not very clear to some of you. Then I'm going to say this. How many senses do we have? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and the mind.
Six.
Now in the Western approach, they say
Five senses.
Six. There are six senses. Five is a contextual classification, but normally we have six. In the Western way, we say seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and then thinking. But we normally take the Eastern approach. Buddha is coming from the East, just to understand. Now, what is happening to my eyes, piece of ears? Sights are coming to forms, sights, they are coming to my eyes. Then what is normally happening to my eyes? If I don't have the sanyama, then what is happening to me is that my eyes are disturbed by the external sights, images, sights, whatever. Then sounds are coming to my ears. So these sounds can be very dazzling, very impactful sounds in my sanya. So then I might be automatically picking them up. Maybe my past sanyas might be picking them up naturally. So my ears have been taken over by those sounds. Smell, I think people are very peculiar about the smell, right? Especially when it goes to perfume, fragrance, you are very, very peculiar about it. Kind of a bad smell is this. Very peculiar. You might be picking on other people also at this point. So the smell is normally picking up, taking over our activities in the nose. Taste, such a very, very big damage that we are enjoying, we are going through in our life. The taste is always trying to take over our tongue, right? When you have a liking about different tastes, then definitely those tastes, they are going to take over the tongue. Touch. What about the touch? Touch is the same. Let's say you have slept on a very nice, comfy bed, right? You can't forget about it after that. Right? You carry this memory wherever you go. You can't even go to a hotel and sleep. That bed, that bed, so comfy. Without that bed, I'm not gonna sleep. Maybe you're gonna buy this. Because that sanya that you got from that happiness, touch. Not even that one. Even the touch from the people, things, they have been deposited as memories sanya within us. So then sanyas, I would say, all the memories with regard to touch, they are coming to our body. Body is always disturbed by them. And then the thoughts, there are 16 thoughts that the Buddha says in Satipatthana Sutta. These thoughts are always coming and going and then giving us happiness, unhappiness, mood, not good mood, right? You ask from somebody, calling someone in the evening, how are you? No, I'm not in a good mood. Huh? What's happening? I remembered something just now. What do you remember? No, something not good. I can't share with you. Right? That thought took his whole evening over. That thought took her whole afternoon over. What do you think about it? A thought can take over. A thought can, take someone's whole time. Some people are suffering for the whole life just because of one small incident. Thinking every day, oh, he did this to me, she did this to me. See how much costly is this, are these sense media, right? They are costing a lot. They're costing our money. They're costing our precious time. So what are we going to understand here is that now the sense media coming to our senses, if we are not trying to strengthen our senses, those sense media are going to be dominant. They are going to take over all our senses. Giving, or I would say, empowering our senses is the sanyam. How to empower my piece of eyes? How to empower my piece of ears? How to empower my nose? How to empower my tongue? How to empower my body? How to empower my mind? How to empower my nose? Go for a cosmetic surgery? Is it? Is it how I'm going to make it stronger? No, just forget about it. If you don't like, you can go for it. But how to empower my nose? Do I really understand what my nose needs? Do I really understand how my taste works, my tongue works? Do I really understand what I want to see? Do I really understand what kind of things I want to hear? I mean, most of the people never do this. What they say is, no, this is my life. Huh? Don't trouble me. Don't control me. Let me do it. Let me see it. Let me hear it. Let me smell it. Let me eat it. When they do not do an enough, awareness, understanding about what they like, what they don't like, and what their senses like, what their senses don't like, then what is happening is that those sense media are having an easy target to those senses. So try to bring this sanyam into the sensory experience. How do we do it? Let's say, this is what the Buddha said. Now I'm seeing something that I like. At times I see things I don't like, which I don't like. Then the Buddha said, when you see something, don't like it, don't dislike it, just use upekha to understand what it is. Very interesting. But normally when we see things, I like it, I like you. No, I don't like you. Don't come. And then when you are listening to things, yes, you have lots of likes and dislikes. They are okay, but we have to bring in this idea. Ideally speaking, I know you can't do that as lay people all the time because you have to like, you have to dislike. Yes, it's okay. But ideally speaking, try not to like, not to dislike. Bring upekha to that sensory experience. So you are good. Then you are good. It's like an ideal speed on a road. Now, say for instance, you are supposed to drive a car on a road at an ideal time, but not at the time when it is raining. 60 per hour. You can't drive on that road when it is raining, when it is misty, because road conditions are not good for you to drive at that particular speed. In the same way, you cannot, stop giving a like or dislike all the time. I understand that as a layperson. But try to think at times, bring upeka, at times, then you are good. This is called sanya. This is very important because in one sutta, called Majjhima Nikaya's last sutta, Indriya Bhavana Sutta 152, Majjhima Nikaya's last sutta 152, Indriya Bhavana Sutta, Buddha is having a conversation with a disciple of a very famous Brahmin who is supposed to have taught the Indriya Samvara, how to restrain our senses. So he was having a very friendly conversation. He asked from the disciple, tell me how your teacher taught you how to take care of your senses. And the disciple told him, Bhante, our teacher is such a good one. His main teaching is about taking care of our senses. He taught us, whenever we see things that we don't like, we have to cover our eyes or close our eyes. Then we are practicing Indriya Samvara, taking care of our eyes. Oh, interesting. Then the Buddha said, then what about the blind people? They can't see anything. They must have attained Nibbana faster than you and your teacher. Right? Because they can't see anything, right? Just because you are blind, can you attain Nibbana? How many blind people are there in the world? If you look at their mindset, just because they don't see things, it has not helped them to overcome many akusalas. Because they are still interacting with the sense media, with the braille or whatever other system. Then Buddha said, okay, continue the way how he explained to you. He said, okay. At the same time, he told us, when we hear sounds that are unfavorable to us, sounds that we don't like, you also have to cover your ears. Very interesting as well. Then what about the deaf people who cannot hear anything? They must have attained Nibbana, Sotapanna, faster than. Then in the same way, Buddha has given his own understanding about. So that means Indriya Samvara means not covering your senses. You have to be fully open, but practicing upeka. So it is not a sensory deprivation that you have to have in terms of taking care of your senses. You can't deprive of your senses to practice calmness in your senses. You have to keep them fully open. But there are times like this. Let's say there's someone you really don't like, troublemaker, problem maker, and you call the person. Is he coming today? Or is she coming today? And okay, I'm not gonna come. Okay, thank you. Right? You might do this just to protect yourself, but don't create any hatred. If you can make a choice, you will do that. But ideally speaking, don't do that. So we don't have to create any enemies. Buddha said we have to practice metta to everybody. You might not be having intimacy with them. Don't try to be intimate with them, but no anger. No anger to anger. So, Indriya Samvara, which means, here as you can see, calming our senses is not a sensory deprivation. You are fully open, but you know how to bring upeka to your sensory experience. And then third one is, fourth one is last one, Dhammapada. Dhammapada is a full explanation about the self-management. How to say in simple language, simple English. Become a self-disciplined person. I think discipline is very important to us all the time. Do we have discipline in Buddhism in our practice? Do we have? Every activity has a discipline expected. Let's say you are a soldier, you are given a gun. Normally, when a soldier is going to have a gun, he or she has been must have given a lot of information about how to handle a gun. They are not easily triggering the point. Why? They are highly given about the discipline in handling a gun. What about the Dhamma? When you are learning Dhamma, have you been given the enough discipline to practice the Dhamma? You know the Dhamma, but do you have the discipline to practice the Dhamma? What is your discipline in practicing Dhamma? Sila. Sila is your discipline. That means be that mindfulness, appamada, sati, upekha, karuna, metta, mudita, whatever other, all these good qualities. They must be practiced with a certain focus on sila. Without sila, we are not going to practice Dhamma very well. That is our discipline. So now here, Dhamma means we should have a full discipline in our life. That means we are, that discipline cannot be taught by a monk. They will teach you what to do, but you are the one who have to come up with the self-discipline. That is very important. Self-discipline is what is meant by Dhamma. How to talk, how to think, how to respond, how to stay patient, right? Like some other inspirational people talk, there are people who are majoring in minor things. They don't major in the right thing. Right? That means we have to major we have to master in our practice in terms of the right activities. Sila helps you. All right. So then what happens when you have these 4 Dhamma qualities? You have the energy, right effort, you have diligence, you have what you call restraining your senses, watching or guarding your senses, and you have self-management, self-discipline. Then what will happen is that you are a wise person. Then you being a wise person, you are creating your own island. Medhavi is the name for the wise person. Medhavi. How do we understand this? Medha. What does Medha mean? Medha means another word for the Panya, wisdom. Medha. Medhavi means someone who has that wisdom. Medhavi. Then you are a Medhavi if you have these 4 in the practice. Then you are Kairata, creating an island Deepa. What kind of island you are creating? Yang Ogho Nabikirati. Here, Abhikirati. Abhikirati is the full word. Abhikirati means not overwhelmed. Ogo, flood. No flood can come to that island. Very interesting. What kind of flood is that? What are the floods that we are experiencing in our day? When you think about a flood, what is the immediate thinking about a flood? Maybe a typhoon, maybe a country where we see a lot of floods. Floods occur. What kind of flood is this? Not the flood from the water. This is a flood from...
Panha, Bhante, craving.
Hello? Yeah, we will discuss. What kind of flood is it? There are 4 types of floods, ogres. Now we know when you are living in a floodplain, right? The government, municipal government, local government advises you are in the floodplain. And the river can anytime overflow. Then and then you will be flooded. You know that flood can come anytime. But these floods, where are they? They are within us. What are they? Now we're going to be discussing the floods. There are 4 floods. Four floods. The first one is
Kama.
Kama flood. Kama flood. Second one, Bhava flood. Then Kama, Bhava,
Diti.
then Ditti flood. Ditti. D. Fourth one, avijja. These are the floods. What is kama flood? Sensuality, our sensual desires.
Sensual
Our-
pleasure.
Yeah, our sensual desires, sensual pleasures are like a flood. So when the flood is coming to you to flood yourself, then you have to understand to save from the flood, kama flood. Okay? It doesn't mean that you can't be with your sensual. You have to be, definitely. You have to enjoy good karma, not the bad one. Like kamesu michachara. Buddha said, kamesu michachara is a problem, but kamesu sammachara is not a problem. Sexual misconduct is a problem, but sexual conduct is not a problem for the layperson. So when you deal with your sensual pleasures, understand it can be a flood anytime. Understand the parameters of your sensual pleasures. Enjoy them, but understand if you don't take enough precautions, it can be a flood anytime. And then you'll be flooded. What will happen to you if you are flooded in the real water? You'll be taken by the flood. And then you'll be infatuated. When you are infatuated, you don't know what's happening. Right? That means Buddha said, you have to use karma without being infatuated, without being insane about the karma. But when some people enjoy karma, they become infatuated, they become insane. They don't know what's happening in the next moment. Like a red ant who is going into a place of honey. Red ant goes into the honey, consume honey, and die in the honey. So I mean, you should not be like that. You just go and then take the honey and go. Otherwise, you're going to be dying with it. Karma flood, right? So Buddha said, there are healthy karmas. Understand your parameters. Never end up in the karmas. Understand, it can be anytime, very tough. It can be a tough flood anytime. So if you do that, you take your own precautions, you should be good. Bhava. Bhava means becoming. That means our sansaric journey. Sansaric journey can be a flood. Why is it? Now we are reborn here already as human beings. Then in next life, as we, by default, we are supposed to be reborn in another place. So this is a flood until you stop it in the right way, with the right approach. It's a flood. Why it is a flood? It is continuing. It's a flood. Third one, ditti. Ditti means views. Views. This is the most important thing that we have to fix in our life before the practice, starting at the practice. Views. Now, when you look at people, when their views have taken them over, they can't think about anything else. Their views are dominant with evil stuff, hurting other people. Maybe they don't know the Dhamma properly because their views have been, taken over by other things. How many people approach us telling, Bhante, my people are not in the Dhammapada. How to change them? I'm asking what's happening to them, what has been happening. They have different thoughts, ideas. They view life differently. That's why. Ditti problem. We can't change people. We can't change people. Rather, we help them understand Dhamma. Changing or not changing is up to them. So that means when you have the Samma Ditti, you are in the right. When you have Dittis, you will be flooded. How to understand this Ditti in a simple manner? Buddha said, when you do a bad karma without Ditti, and when you do a bad karma with Ditti, it creates two results. Say, for instance, there is someone who is going to a party just to be socialized, to be with his sort of friends, going to have a social drink. Is it happening, right? You go to a party, they have a social drink in the engagement. But there is someone who is saying that no, drinking is okay. By justifying, by rationalizing that drinking habit, going to be an alcoholic and drinking consume. That creates a lot of bad because he or she is rationalizing the bad act. Sometimes with your activities, mistakenly you do a certain thing to someone. So you apologize. You never thought that it. But there is someone who is doing that on purpose and saying, it's okay, it's okay, don't worry. So that creates more bad karma because you bring ditti onto that akusala. Let's say you are doing panatipada. On top of that, you are justifying panatipada. That means you have ditti, michya ditti, attached to that panatipada. Let's say there is someone who is sexually misconducting. When he is thinking by himself or herself, it's okay, just to be with other people, no problem. Let me bring ditti onto karmism. That is even worse. Akusala will be worse. Someone has lied one time. Now doesn't want to accept the lie, thinking that no, I can say another 1,000 lies to cover up this lie. Because that person thinks that I need to rationalize my lie by creating another 1,000 lies. But still he or she cannot save the lie. Right? So in this way, when the ditti comes to the akusala activity, vipaka will be massive, colossal, and that will make a lot of havoc actually. Okay, ditti is a flood because it's coming after and flooding. Finally, avijja. Avijja means ignorance. That is why we are in the samsara. There's a story. I want to make it a little short during the time. Very interesting story. Let's see the name of the story. Chula Pantaka. Chula means little. Chula means little. Pantaka is someone. Okay. Panta means road in Pali. Pantaka means someone who was born on the road. Pantaka was someone who was born on the road. Very interesting. I remember a couple of years back, there was a child who was born on a Canadian provincial highway. Because of the trending video that the couple posted, the government released their lifetime toll on the highway because the baby was born on the road. Very interesting. Anyways, what happened? There was a story for that. Chula Pantaka. Chula Pantaka was a monk later on. Let me tell you the story. There was a banker and his wife, we call Seti. They got a daughter, but the daughter was more interested about men. What happened? Then she dated the maid in the house, in the palace, and then they ran away from the palace. And then sometime, when they were going here and there on the way, they got a son. The first son is called Mahapantaka, the great Mahapantaka. Pantaka means someone who was born. So they got 2 children. After some time, they got another child called Chula Pantaka. And Mahapantaka became a monk when the Buddha was living at Veluvanarama, his first temple. And he became an arahant. Very interestingly, he was the monk we call as Bhattu Desaka. Let me type that here. Bhattu Desaka. Bhatta means rice. Bhattu Desaka means someone who takes appointments for that. Someone who takes the appointments for Dana, for the Buddha and other monks. So every devotee has to meet this monk, Mahapantaka. He's a very famous figure. They can't just bypass and then bring monk from the temple. So then when Mahapantaka is an arahant, he is doing that. One day, his brother, Chula Pantaka, also said, I want to become a monk. Then he said, okay. Then brother monk gave him a stanza, Pali verse, like a Dhammapada verse. Okay, now you became a monk. You have to memorize this stanza soon. Then what happened? After 4 months even, Chula Pantaka could not memorize this stanza. Even you also can memorize in a day or 2. Right? This stanza can be because of the timing, I'm going to make it short. And then what happened? After 4 months, what happened? Mahapantaka, the brother, the brother monk said to the other brother monk, you are a monk for 4 months already, but you can't even memorize even one Pali stanza. There's no point of you being a monk. I think you better go. This is a very interesting story. How come an arahant is asking another monk to go like that? Then what happened? Then Cholapantaka thought, yes, what my brother monk is saying is true because I can't memorize. I better become a lay person and do dana and become a normal person. So in the morning, he was going to leave the Veluna Ram. That day, Buddha is every day trying to think about someone who wants help from Mahakaruna, great compassion. He saw this. He saw he's going to leave. He was on the way to see him. He asked, why are you leaving? That my brother monk told me that I cannot memorize one Pali stanza, so you better leave. Then the Buddha asked an interesting, Buddha said an interesting Pali statement. Tava pappajja nama mama santaka. Your ordination is not, maybe he might have ordained you. Every monk, this is very interesting. When a monk is ordained any new lay person, they are not ordaining, they might ordain in their way, but that ordination responsibility, the power, is normally going to the Buddha. That's why Sangha members can ordain a new person, but they cannot destroy him. Okay. Very interesting, because they are doing that on behalf of the Buddha. So Buddha says, Tava pappajja, your monkhood is mama santaka. It is under me. Bhatara nikkaddito kasma mama santika. Why, when you were left by your brother, why did not you come to me? I could have helped you. Then he said, I was very stressed out. I don't know what to do. And then he said, okay, no problem. Then the Buddha gave him a white cloth and then asked him to rub it, saying, Rajo Haranang, Rajo Haranang. Rajo means dirt. Rajo Haranang. So when he was rubbing it all some time, what happened? And during that time, Buddha went for dana in a house. Actually, that dana was posted by the Buddha's doctor, Jivaka Komarabhaja. He was the Buddha's doctor. Actually, he was originally the doctor of the King Bimbisara. King Bimbisara asked him to go and help the Buddha also. When the monk Devadatta threw a stone to the Buddha, he is the one who immediately took care of the Buddha, brought him to stop further attacks. So Buddha went to Jivaka Komar Bhatta's dana house, and then halfway of the dana, before he accepted dana from Jivaka Komar Bhatta, he asked Jivaka Komar Bhatta, send someone to the temple, Viruvarama, check whether there are any monk over there. Until you bring that monk or whoever, I'm not going to accept your dana. So when he went there, by that time, after rubbing that white cloth, what has happened? The cloth became dusty. And then what happened? By looking at this nature of the white cloth, which he saw within a short amount of time, he was able to think about the vipassana element of the activity. He became an arahant. Not even an arahant, he became arahant with Patisambhida, Atta Dhamma Nirukti Patibhana. Not a normal arahant, very special arahant. Then what happened? Buddha made a mental projection to him. Don't think that it is the dust that made this white cloth dusty. It is not the dust. It is initially your sanya, perception on the desire, lust in that. So what happened when the man went to the temple? He saw many monks in the temple. The whole temple has many monks everywhere. Everybody say, I'm Chulapantaka, I'm Chulapantaka. Then he went back and told the Buddha, Bhante, there are many monks. Everybody is saying the same name. What to do now? He said, you go back again when the first one to say, I'm Chulapantaka, try to grab his hand, then all the other Chulapantakas will disappear. So he went and he caught the first one, and then all the other Chulapantakas disappeared. He just wanted to show that his thing. So the story here is that when the brother monk cannot help the little one, the Buddha helped him in a very short amount of time. Then the Buddha narrated the story why Chulapantaka, monk Chulapantaka, Arahant Chulapantaka could not memorize a stanza for 4 months. It is because in one life, Kassapa Buddha's time, he was a very talented student, very smart student in the class. So when a student who is not that smart approached him to ask something, he mocked at that student, picked on him. You don't know, he said, you don't know it. You didn't know, understand this thing, that thing, you don't know this subject. He started mocking at that student. That's why never ever mock anybody just because you know that thing. That is why even in this life, he could not memorize this stanza because he picked on that weak student in the class. But because of the Buddha's power, he was able to get back. So this story tells us a couple of things. One thing is that in order for us to understand life, we might not need a lot of things, even a white cloth, because even a white cloth, even the staining process of the white cloth is enough if you are that wise, right? The vipassana sanya, vipassana element can come anytime, even from a small phenomenon. And Buddha helped, and Chulapantaka, Arahant Chulapantaka had all these qualities. What are the qualities once again? Uttana, Appamada, Samyama, and Dhamma. That's how he made himself an idol. All right, any questions for today? Yes, question.
Oh, Jenny
Yes.
wants to ask this. Oh, Jenny?
Yes, please.
Okay, Bhante, never mind. Bhante, when the Buddha says, right, be an island unto yourself, actually, what did he really mean from your understanding, Bhante? Be an island unto yourself.
No, this is a metaphoric thing to understand. We cannot create a physical island. This island is a safe place. It means a safe place in our Dhamma practice. Sometimes we don't create a safe place in our Dhamma practice. We are living in a place, or maybe we are interacting with people where we cannot feel safe about our practice. So when you have these four, you can create your own comfort zone in your Dhamma practice. It's not a physical island. It's a place where you are creating with maybe good relationship with other people, maybe a good framework in your Dhamma practice. So that is how we understand island here.
Bhante, in another sutta, right? Is it I can't remember the name, but it says, be an island unto yourself. Buddha exhorted us to be an island unto ourselves. What does that mean when it comes?
Same. This is the explanation.
Oh.
That's a rubric. The stanza.
Oh, okay.
It is coming up actually in the Atta Vakka. Atta Deepa Viharata Bhikkave Atta Sarana. That is a rubric. This is the explanation how you're going to make yourself an island. Because you are creating that wisdom surface onto your practice. Because a lot of people, they are complaining about environment where they are living when they are supposed to practice Dhamma. I cannot practice Dhamma with my loved ones, my house, my other thing, this thing, that thing. So you have to first create that space very well. You can create it as an island. It's not that you are going to distance from other people. You are creating some framework onto your practice. So you are very comfortable. You are very safe in that zone. Yes, Jenny.
Yeah, Bhante.
Yes.
You say the practice of upeka. I just want to give an example because I'm not sure whether it's considered as a practice of upeka. For example, like in our daily life, weather can change, can be hot and cold. So whether we encounter hot or cold, so we just tell ourselves that is the nature of the weather, and then we just accept it. So can it consider as a practice of upeka?
Yeah, that is a way to practice upekka. But the problem is now in your example, let's say now some countries are having torrential rain. Now, so when you are going through the rain, the torrential rain, you might think that now this is the time for the rain. But the problem is, what is our response to the rain after that? Can I bear this rain? Can I survive with this rain? So that is a further stage of that upekka. So that means a better way to understand is that accepting at the same time, not liking or disliking. Now, initially at this level, you are accepting. Yes, I have to accept the weather. But not even accepting the weather, not developing a likeness or dislikeness onto that particular thing. So then you are good. Otherwise, if you like the good weather, then when the bad weather comes, you will develop something else.
Oh, understood. Okay, thank you.
Yes. We can take one more question and then we will. Yes, say.
Bhante, can you please explain this Bawa Ogo? Because I did not catch it.
Where is that? Abhikirati?
The flood, Ogo flood. The second one is the Bawa.
Okay.
Thank you.
Second flood is Bhava, right? Bhava. Bhava means our samsaric journey. I mean, like when we die, we're gonna be reborn again. We are living and dying. This whole process is Bhava, because we are existing. It starts from Bhu, existence. It's a flood because it's not ever ending. We are always flooded by that Bhava until we try to think about the way out. It's a flood.
Oh, Bhante is, in other words, is called becoming.
That is another translation. No problem. Normally existence, becoming, I would simply translate sansaric journey because then everybody understands. Sometimes some English translations are very bombastic. You might not, maybe that English translation will further complicate us. So it's better to go something closer to Pali word. It's better to, easy to understand. All right, any questions? Not, then we are going to transfer the good karmas now. Okay, so may all the good karmas we will be making today by learning Dhammapada 25th stanza, which is about how to create an island onto us. This island is a metaphoric use. This island is a wisdom space for us to practice our Dhamma journey. And then we learn about how to make that island. And may all the good karmas we will be making today in all these ways be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang sukhita nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang sukhita nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang sukhita nyatayo. Deva Naga Mahitika. Also, share all the good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, and safety. May they, in particular, bless all of us for our Dhamma journeys. May Devanaka Mahinika be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ettavata cha amihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Ettavata cha amehi sampatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha amehi sampatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha chibumattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhanturu sasanam. Akasattha chibumattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhanturu sasanam. Akasattha chibumattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhanturu stumang paranti chirang rakkhanturu sadati. At the same time, we are making our great wish till we attain Nibbana in our samsaric journey. May we be able to be in the company of Kalyana Mitras, not be with the Papamitras. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Finally, may all the good karmas begin making today by learning Dhammapada's 25th stanza be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa nichang vaddha pacha ino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanu sukhabalam ayurarogya sampatti sakka sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samicchati sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so with that blessing, our online Pali class for today is over. We'll be seeing you next Thursday at the same time.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Sadhu, sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Thank
sadhu.
you,
sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye-bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu,
Yeah,
sadhu.
sadhu,
Take
sadhu.
care, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you, Bhante.
Good
Good night,
evening,
Bhante. Good
everybody.
night, everyone.
Yeah, see you
Take care.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Bye-bye, Bhante.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Send me
Bhante.
Thank
Talk to you
you.
tomorrow.
See you
Bye-bye.
tomorrow.